Welcome to Turning Point. My name is Tope Orolu. I'm your host on this platform, and I welcome you to this very special edition of the Turning Point program. And the Turning Point platform is a platform that we have put together to encourage us to trust God, to encourage us to live our dreams, to fulfill our purpose on earth as individuals. Today, I want to talk to us about what to do when you don't know what to do. All right? That's my topic for this edition. What to do when you don't know what to do. That's a very interesting topic. What do you do when you find yourself in a crossroad? When you find yourself in a crisis, what do you do when it seems there are no options? We read the story of a man called Jacob in the Bible in Genesis chapter 32. If you read from 29, 30, 31, but especially in Genesis 32, Jacob found himself in the crossroad. Jacob was fleeing away from Laban, and then in an attempt to go back to his father's place, he had supplanted his brother Esau. And so he found himself in the midst of nowhere. It was a crisis point. And the Bible records that Jacob became fearful and distressed. It became a situation where to go forward, there was problem, and to go back was also not an option. You may also have read about the children of Israel when they left Egypt and they were faced with the Red Sea. They couldn't go back because the pharaohs and the horsemen of the Egyptians were pursuing them. And then, of course, the Red Sea was a problem as well for them to cross. So they found themselves at a crossroad. Sometimes we find ourselves at such moments, such crisis moments, where it appears there are no options. It can happen in our marriage, it can happen in our relationships, it can happen in our business, in our career. Sometimes a health challenge or whatever that has led us into such a crisis. So times like that will happen where you find yourself at a crossroad, and then you begin to ask, what do I do? All right, so that's the essence of this teaching, what to do when you don't know what to do. What to do when you don't know what to do. So sometimes we find ourselves in situations like this. Could be as a result of our own inactions or decisions that we have made, bad decisions. Sometimes it could be, induced by external forces. The Bible says, we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and powers. So Satan is our adversary. He's also always trying to bring situations to our way, to discourage us, to make us to lose faith in God. And sometimes God could allow us to get to such a situation for his own purpose. For his own purpose. The Bible tells us that all things work together for good for those who love God and those who are called according to his purpose. So when you find yourself in such a situation, what do you do? I'm going to give you 5 or 6 things that I believe we should do when you find yourself, at a crisis point, at a crossroad. Number 1 is to recognize that you are not alone. You are not the first person to go through such an experience. We all go through experiences. Life is filled, with ups and downs. All right, so if you're passing through such an experience right now, you're not the first and you will not be the last. All right, so encourage yourself that you are not alone, and this is just a phase that will soon be over. The second thing I want to suggest you do is to see this situation, this crisis, as an opportunity for growth and for change. Have a positive perspective. Don't get depressed. Don't, throw your hands, up and say, there's no way for me. Don't get to that point where you become too negative or, about the situation. Have a positive outlook. See this crisis point as an opportunity for change and for growth. Number 3 thing you need to do is to acknowledge that you need help. Acknowledge your helplessness. Don't pretend that all is well. Don't pretend. Acknowledge them. Acknowledge that you need help. The number 4 thing I want you to do when you don't know what to do is to, bring to remembrance the goodness of God, the past testimonies, the past victories that you have experienced with God. Bring them to remembrance. Remember the good things. Remember the fact that you are alive. Remember that God has been good. Remember the testimonies of years, or the things that God has done in your life at some other time. Bring them to remembrance. And number 5, commit the situation into God's hands by praying. Pray about it. Pray about that situation. Ask God for direction. Ask God for guidance. Ask God to make a way. The Bible says God will make a way where there seems to be no way. The Bible says He creates a way even in the wilderness, and He can create a river even in a desert. So God can make a way. So ask God to make a way. And then the last suggestion is that trust God for guidance. After praying, believe God, trust Him for guidance, and where necessary, please seek counsel. Talk to some other people, talk to your pastor, talk to your leaders, seek counsel, from people who have had similar experiences before, who have gone through what you may be going through. I believe these steps will help us and help you to know what to do when you don't know what to do. It has been my pleasure to speak to us on this platform once again, and I want to thank you for watching this video. And I say, God bless